All right, so let's get class started here. We have, here's my thumbnail sketch of the tulips. And I may not make the background as dark as it is in the photograph. Clearly the colors up here and the colors on the table are what I'm interested in. I also want a feeling of light coming in from that window that I hint at over on the right side. There's a saying among watercolorists: plan like a turtle, paint like a hare or like a rabbit. So, you know, if you sort of think things out, make some decisions in advance, then when you start pushing the paint around, you have a little bit more idea what you're going to do. As I said in the drawing video, I've left out that there's a pink towel on our dog crate in the background here. I've left that out. There was a black speaker in here. I left that out. So we'll kind of focus on these objects here. So it's kind of a breakfast still life. I did one thing. I've turned the spoon. I think you know this. I've turned the spoon around so that it kind of leads my eye into this area of the white mugs. All right, so okay, I'm going to get right. Let me make one other comment. I see a lot of times in my workshops, I see people with their brushes and them pulling the brush through a paper towel. And that's sometimes not all that great for the bristles of the brush. I just, you can see on the other camera, I just dip my brush onto the sponge to soak up some extra moisture so that I'm not pulling at the bristles, which in the long term isn't great for that. Okay, I'm going to be kind of a chicken. I'm going to start with we've got white mugs with some shadow on them. They're light on the right side and a little bit muted on the left side. So I'm mixing up a little bit of color here. Oops, too much blue. I mean, too much pink, red. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay. Seems like a little bit too strong right there. Okay. The idea is to get some color into your shadow shapes. Don't just make them gray. So about halfway across this cup, I'm going to soak up some water, and I'm going to just, this is sort of like
Ned,
graded
is that
wash.
ultramarine blue you're using?
It is. It's ultramarine and alizarin.
Ned?
Yep.
Can you let Elaine, or excuse me, Ellen?
Got it.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at you.
So I'm gradually going from one side to the other. Okay, I just let Ellen in. Okay, good, Ellen. I'm going to paint the inside here of the cup. I'm going to leave the lip white. I'm going to paint a little bit on the inside of the handle. And do that. I'll go to the other cup and maybe I'll add a little bit of raw umber or raw sienna. Oops. Let's get that blue going again. Okay. Because the light's coming in from the window, and that's, I figure it's sunlight. Sunlight is yellow, but so that means the shadow colors are going to be in the purple range, which is the opposite of yellow. So that's why I picked this. Now on a cloudy day, the shadows actually, and the light is kind of bluish outside, then my shadows end up being more warm color, more yellowy colors. Okay, now I'm going to try just, I want a soft edge there. Okay, let's go back. let's get the inside here. I'm going to make sure I don't touch one edge to another because I want to keep that edge of the cup white. I'll add a little bit more color in there.
Looks very
Okay.
boat-esque.
So I'm going to take a little bit of this, do the side of the handle.
Mm.
And the handle actually has a little bit of a shadow coming off of it. So I'm going to send that off this way. A little bit like that. I'll make sure those shadows are parallel with each other. All right. Now what am I going to do? We should be looking at this.
I'm sorry I was late, but that's a ultramarine and what that you made
Well,
the,
Yeah, I got
cup out?
ultramarine and alizarin. But it could be any a different blue, a cerulean and a Windsor red or something like that.
Ned, you could
Yeah.
stop right there. That looks great.
Yeah.
Those are beautiful.
Oh, I bumped your camera. All right.
No, we're okay.
I'm going to add in some of the shadows coming off of the mug. Onto the white tablecloth. Really a dish towel, I guess. I have so many colored dish towels at home. I can't, we have so many that don't really fit in our drawers, but they are so wonderful when I'm putting still lives together because I've got such a great variety. Okay, there's the shadows, those coming off of there. And you know, while I got this thing, I mix up this nice color. I'm gonna put in the shadow of the plate. Right there. I see a little bit of shadow coming off of this. I'll be coming back to this tea kettle. We know that's going to be a challenge. I'm just doing some of my shadows on the white cloth. Here we go. Let's do the shadow of the spoon. The shadow comes here. It kind of bumps a little bit. And here's the spoon itself with a little bit more. A little more color on it, a little stronger color. I'm leaving the right-hand edge of the spoon white. I'm putting a little bit of raw sienna in the middle of the spoon. There we go. So we have a little bit of blush there. With that spoon, there we go. Okay. Now these mugs have set up a little bit, and the shadow color. I'm gonna get that pink. I didn't refresh my permanent rose. Okay, I'm going to take my permanent rose. This is going to be my pink stripe coming through here. I'm going to go right through that shadow. I'm going to go around the plate. Oh, it's bleeding a little bit. Oh, am I going to worry about that? Not a bit. Go right to there. So I'm, if I'm concerned about that edge, I can soak it up and put a little more bluish color in there. Oops. Okay, so I've got my pink stripe going through here, and I'm going to do a couple of other accents, and then I will take a break. Let you paint these lovely mugs. I'm going to take a little smaller brush. I'm going to take a cerulean blue, and I'm going to do the edge of the mug. I'm holding the brush pretty high up. I see a line there. I think there's a line down here. A line down here. These are the sort of Casafina mugs. I don't know if they're Casafina. There's a blush of yellow on that far side. So I'm going to grab a little bit of New Gamboge, just stick it right in there, right up to that edge. Just so I can see that scallop shape a little bit better. Maybe I should use the aureole, and there's that. Okay, and then just right at the end, I'm gonna, what's the blue? The blue on the scallop pattern is pretty strong. So I grab, oops, that's really too strong. Okay, I'm painting this while this is just slightly damp. So I'm not getting, the edges aren't too hard. I want to get a feeling of that scalloped shape there. In both mugs. Here's a little bit more of the blue. Okay, so this is, I know this is probably pretty boring. This is like watching paint dry. Okay, I'm going to pause there and let you guys practice getting a little bit of color, sometimes a little bit of yellow. Let me pull this up a little bit closer. Sometimes a little bit of yellow into the purple shadow. Sometimes a little pink or blue. Here's a little bit of blue that catches in there. And so try to get your shadows, the shadows on the white, to have a sort of a variety of tones within them. All right, I'll take a little break now and I'll let you catch up. Certainly any questions, throw them right out there.
Ned, somehow we've lost your painting.
Oh. Bill, what's happening here? They don't see my painting.
I
Thank
see
you.
it.
I see your painting.
Okay, okay.
Ned, are you speaking?
Ned, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. It's muted.
Unmute. How about now?
Okay, do you hear me now? Can any of you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
I
good,
can.
good.
Yes.
All right, so I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was saying I'm using a little bit of cerulean and new gamboge to create the stripe on that plate. And I see the plate is having a little white edge. So be pretty careful about. There we go. And I see, I know that this plate has a little bit of a landscapey thing inside it. There's a little bit of blue, little blush of blue down here. And something up in here. And maybe some mountain or something, I forget what it's. The color there. And there's a little something down here. And I'll put a little, just because I kind of like some yellow here, I'm just throwing some yellow in. I can't really tell what's going on here. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's get this tea cake thing going. I'm going to get the raw sienna, touch of.
Ned, it's getting hard to hear you again. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
it's
what
your
happens
mic.
when I lean over my palette, I walk away from the microphone. So I'm reaching over to get some raw sienna and Windsor red, and I'm creating an orange. Okay, there we go. Let's get that going here. This is the nice bright side to this little piece of breakfast cake. I'll come up the side a little bit here. This side is light on this right here in the front. Boy, it gets pretty dark. I'm going to get darken this by putting a little cerulean in with it. And that's going to get this side darker with this cake. I still got the top edge to do, and that's, I'm going to use a little bit of burnt sienna, which is a very sticky color. I don't always like it. And this is the top edge of the cake. Kind of a reddish brown here. Yeah, that's a nice color, right? So it's a little bit darker on the top. Oh, look at this. You see a little bit of at the bottom there, you see kind of a crust. A little dark edge down here. I put a little dark edge on this one too. Side there. What happened, Woody? You didn't like that?
Oh, nothing. Pay no attention.
Yeah,
Pay no attention to that man behind.
right. All right, so there's the breakfast cakes and the plate and the shadow. I got that going. Okay, now we got to deal with this this box of tea. Back to my larger brush. Okay, so we got yellow. Okay. I see the box of tea as being lightest on the top, a medium color on the side, and the darkest yellow is on this side, furthest from the window. I'm going to throw some aureolin up in here. I'm going around that red logo. I'm going to try something different here. Okay. Oh, Bill, I just banged that thing. All right. They keep bumping into your camera. Double check it. Okay, there's that red, there's that yellow. Then I'm going to have the yellow on the side. It's a raw sienna with the yellow, so it's a little bit darker. Okay. And this little piece of white is not really white, so I'm just toning it down a little bit. A little bit of blue on there, and the same thing there. And I'm going to get the darker yellow with a little raw umber. Okay, so this is definitely darker than the top. So now I got these greens. The light greens at the top. Aureolin. Ultramarine. I got this nice light. Pale green at the top. But then at the edge, it gets much darker. So that color in there. And then down here, a much darker green because this is the side in shadow. I see the lid of the box is bent, and I see a little bit of a shadow kind of curling it. Pretty strong color right there. Okay, some yellow. Good. Okay, now I've got the reds. I've got a light red and a dark red. Let's go Lipton. There we go. Windsor red. I'm leaving a few little spots of white. And then the red on the dark side, on the shadow side, a little bit of Windsor red with some blue. And let's see how this looks. Does that look red enough? No, let's get some more red. It's looking too purple. All right, there's a darker red Windsor with a little bit of ultramarine to get it a darker red. There's that logo. So here's your Lipton box. Okay, I purposely left I see a shine on this hitting this box, so I purposely left some parts of it almost white. And we'll see how that works out. It may not work out later on. Okay, let's see what you can do with 3 tones, 3 different yellows to create volume of the box. And then a little bit of color into those tea cakes. I see this has come down a little bit. I'm gonna suck out some of that color. I want to get a lighter side to that. I'm just gonna just brush out some of that color. It was getting too dark. All right, let's take a little, I'll take a break and let you guys get to work.
Do you want me to say something?
Oh, thank you.
Good, yeah. Shadows, fringe. Okay, whatever. That would be the teapot.
So you started by doing the yellow on the box, and then you got darker.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You take dark, if you do dark first, then by the time your brush touches the light color, it's already contained. Maybe I can wash it. I think mixing yellows is probably one of the tougher colors to do because when you start getting yellow darker, it can start to look green if you add blue to it.
Well, yellow by nature is regular light.
Yeah.
There's a mixture of the red cones and the green cones. And in photography, it's a mixture of, it's adding red and adding green to get yellow.
Okay.
So if it's because you think it gets green, it's because it did.
What's that?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Are you kidding me? Okay, at least it's no longer ice espresso.
All right. I've changed my water. We haven't done big objects yet, but I did have a lot of brownish, grayish water. I said I was going to do the teapot next, which is sort of tour de force. Before I do that, I'm going to get into this, the table, because that's another one of my warm colors. I think I'm going to get all my warm colors in and then come back with the cool colors. So I've got a larger brush here. It's sort of a mop brush. Boy, I don't know whether I throw a lot of water on here first. I think I will throw some water down here. So I'm going to throw water on the bottom edge here. Some water across here. There. Oh, heck with it. Well, I do have some lights in there, so I want to save some of those. Okay, put some water there. Get a little bit of water. Now I have adjusted a little thing. I've put a little bit of the brown table beyond the napkin there, because I didn't like the way the white just went off into the like an airport runway. Anyway, I probably put a little bit too much water in here. It's not going to dry up. Okay, so okay. So what color is this orangey yellow table? Wow. I would say burnt sienna, but that sometimes gets me in trouble. I'll try a little bit. Burnt sienna. And I almost never use a color directly out of the tube. Burnt sienna, I'll put up some raw sienna with it, lighten it up. There we go. I put that down. You put it down and see what it looks like. If you want it darker, add more dark. If you want it lighter, add more water. So right now, I think it's I'm going to get a little bit darker down here. Oops, that got a little crazy. Okay.
Dad, I have to take you off my video for a second, so you're gonna have to let me back in a minute.
Okay, well, why? Okay, you'll have to remind me.
Hi, Colleen. Don't forget, I just noticed that you called. Are you able to get in there?
Yeah, I didn't. I tried to look for her.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it some other way.
So I've got that
And that's raw sienna, a variation thereof.
burnt sienna, raw sienna, a little bit of both. I'm going to throw it in down here. I have a little light edge. You see that light? Those light edges? Oh, heck with it. I'll get rid of them now. They're not going to be white. So just the whole damn thing. Here we go. Let's. Ooh, bam! Keep hitting this damn thing. Did I get it back on? Okay.
So you're not doing drop down. Ed, you're not going to do the drop down on the side.
The drop down. What are you talking about?
To the left, the table dropped down. You're just forgetting that. Is that true? Or?
Oh, right. Well, I'm having the table, and I'm looking through into the glass where the tulips are. I gotta be careful in here. Those are some reflections. Yeah, and here we go, a little bit more back down here. Mhm. All right, so I've got my table there outlining my objects. My objects are all sitting on that white napkin. While this is still setting up, I can add a little bit more dark down here. That falls off the edge there. And I'm going to get some more darks. Careful here. A lot of water in there. I'm going to wait. This is still really wet. Okay, so I've done most of my warm colors, which are the yellows and reds and all that. Now I'm going to get into the teapot. And I see a white edge right up here where it hits the table. I see a white edge of the spout.
Right.
Let's see. I have that. So, and I see a dark edge at the edge of the lid. I see some white highlights over here, but in general, if I squint my eyes and just look at the mug itself, it's gray. It's so I'm going to start. Here we go. Okay, good. I'm going to go with my ultramarine, alizarin, and raw sienna. Ultramarine, and I'm trying to figure out how much red, how much blue. Okay, here we go. Let's get it darker. Okay, this goes right down to that shadow. It is darker than the shadow, so I can make it darker. Take a light. There's some areas that I'm going to leave sort of white for now. Let's see. Oh. Okay, I'm just putting in a fairly light gray. I'm going to take that all the way over to where I see the sunlight hitting it. I'm not going to do anything down there. But then I do see the yellow of the Lipton reflected into that teapot. And green. Now that reflected yellow is a dark yellow. It's not as bright as I just put it in. Raw burnt umber, raw umber. Okay, there's that. Dark down here. Can't forget the top of the lid. Again, there's an edge there I don't want to lose. There's an edge here that I can lose. I'm just going to darken it up later. Okay, right around to here. We've got a pretty dark, as I look at the spout here, I have a pretty dark edge. This right side is very light. Then I have a dark edge right there. I'm leaving that white. Okay. There's a line here. I don't know what it is. Let's see a little bit of color there. Let's just throw some red in there just for the heck of it. This teapot looking interesting. All right, now we got to get into that handle. Now the handle has a light side, it's black. It's got a light side and a dark side. So what are we gonna do with that thing? The light side. Okay, I'm gonna do the dark side first. This is doing things backwards. I'm gonna take alizarin and ultramarine and art sienna. I'm gonna get a pretty damn dark tone here. Let's see. You gotta be careful. Up here. It goes around. Here's the handle. How'd I do, Woody?
Well done. Yeah, you really know.
Huh?
I think you know what you're doing.
Okay, so I need a little reassurance, I'm telling you. Woo! That handle is on there pretty tight. And I've just done the dark side of it. The light side of it, I don't know whether I want to touch it now because it is. Okay, I just got some of the water on my palette. It's like gray water. And I'm hitting the inside edge here. And then this is a little bit of an inside edge there. And there's the damn handle. I may come back and tighten up some of those edges later. All right, so let me, oh, now this still isn't dark. I'm gonna go back to my tabletop. I've got right under the napkin, you can see that there are some shadows there. As the cloth kind of undulates. Put that there, and then put a little bit more accents of the dark. This is the shadow of the fringe. I'm just dabbing it. Am I ready to do this dark line now?
Are you doing those
Yep.
dark shadows with dark tabletop colors?
Yeah, the shadows of the fringe, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. It's really burnt sienna. It's not really too dark, but it's yeah, it's a dark. Then I'm going to take, this is the rounded edge here. This is a drop leaf table. There's a rounded edge, a light thing, and then I got a really dark. I'm going to finish this up. This going to be a really dark triangle down here. And that'll be the table that drops out of sight. And I'm going to put another I got myself into trouble trying to do this hinge. That's not too bad. Kind of zebra stripey. I may go back to that later. We're going to leave it for now.
No, it reads as to what it is,
Good, good.
Mr. Reade.
Yeah. And this dark need a little bit more jazz. So, you know, in watercolor, it's funny. If you think you got the color right, you're wrong. It's too light. And then you end up going back. And then you keep going back, it starts to look overworked. So when you think you have a color correct, maybe give it a little more juice. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little break. We still have the tulips and background to do, but we're kind of zeroing. Oh, I know. Is this? No, there's a dark line on that teapot that I don't want it to bleed. So I'm gonna wait on that. Okay, let's work on the table, getting some oranges there, and then dive into that teapot. You believe I got a lot of dirty water now. There's another truism that watercolorists share, and that is painting in watercolor is like golf. The more strokes you take, the worse you're doing. And sometimes massaging and going over things over and over again isn't the best. If you can hit it on the first time, that's always great. But that's tough.
starting with a fresh.
That's very,
Way too polluted.
that's very sensitive. Oh, boy.
How did you start the T5? You started with,
Started with
on the
a,
left edge.
I started on the left edge, sort of a grayish color. I tried to go around. There's a little bit of a white gleam on there, I guess reflecting that little white coffee cup. So but I did have a hard edge right at the edge. It's a pretty dark color. It came around like a crescent moon, came up, and then I put in some of those reflections of the Lipton. Well, I mean, it's there, so I decided not to put it.
Yeah.
It's hard to hold back.
Hard to think of negative space.
Yes, yeah.
And why we're here.
Oh.
No, starting over. Recommend.
Okay, well, we got a lot of acreage to finish up. Um, all right, I am going to starting on the window and then move into the tulips. We'll save the background behind the tulips for another after another break. This window outside, the picture shows a hint of brick, and I'm certainly not going to do that. It's not important, and but I do want the sense that there is something out there. So I'm going to cover this area the way I would with the sky. I'm going to just cover it with pure water. And I'm not going to get into a lot of details in here. Go around my handle. Okay, so this will be, take a little bit of, I'm using colors that I've used already. I'm going to use some Aureolin yellow with a little bit of cerulean and maybe a little raw umber. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. What do I want? Okay, this is going to be looking out into a fresh spring. That's when the tulips come out anyway, right? Yeah, let's see, go next door to the florist for Valentine's Day. So I'm going, oh, this is a great color. Well, as I've told you before, when you think you got a great color, you're wrong. It's too light. So I'm going to get a little bit more raw sienna, a little bit more cerulean blue. And near the bottom, maybe there's some rhododendrons outside the window. They are definitely darker. Boop, 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 over here. And I want to deprive that pane of glass with some of its accents. But I'm not going to get into putting leaves or something like that. I'm just going to try to have a little accent now. Okay. Ooh, God, I can't hit that damn thing. All right. I'll leave that for now. Now, tulips. This is the major actor, right? This is why I wanted to paint this. I've saved it to the end. Maybe saving it to the end is because I was afraid of it, or you saved the best to last. So we've got pretty much things are coming together down here, but we need to get the tulips working. So I see the tulips as having some white edges where the sun is hitting them, where the light is hitting them. So I'm not going to cover the entire tulip with a color, but like any object, to make it look three-dimensional, you'll want 3 different tones. So white is one tone, a light pink is another, and a darker red will be the 3rd tone. So I'm gonna take some permanent rose, add a little bit of, well, let's see, ooh, no, the cadmium is too strong. A little bit of Windsor red. And I'm gonna start, okay, I see, and then I see a white line there, and I see white edges, and I'm gonna have one tulip running into the next. I think I talked about that last week, letting your flower shapes combine.
Which colors again did you use that? Permanent
I'm using
rose?
permanent rose, and I tried alizarin, cadmium, I hated it. So I threw in a little bit of a Windsor red. Okay, here's the tulips have these sort of petal-like things here. Okay, there's that one down below. It's mostly dark. Yeah, that whole thing is gonna be covered. I don't see too many white accents on that. All right, and this one. And the left side does not have an accent on it, but the right side does. Here's this lower one here. All right. White edge on that. Okay, so I've got these tulip shapes basically in 2 tones. The local color is called of the tulip, and then it's highlights. I'm going to leave that just for a second. There's some edges that I want to capture. But while I've got that sitting there, I don't want the greens to look pasted on. So I'm going to start in with some of the green aureolin, cadmium, cerulean. And let's see how these light greens come, because they're coming right out from the, yep, good.
So that's a cerulean blue you're using there.
I am on this one, yep. Okay, now, okay, I'm gonna pull this up. I want you to see that the green is sort of going into the red, but because my paper is tilted, it's going down. But so I don't have a sharp edge where the green hits the red and then it's like pasted on. Now I've got a large. What am I doing with these? No, here we go with the green. Oh, didn't we do flowers earlier, huh? Okay, in most cases, I'm going to paint the entire. Wow, this leaf looks like it's catching a lot of light. Okay. So right down here, there's the edge of the glass, the vase, and that's That's left white because it's shiny. We'll see later on whether I leave it that color. Okay, let's pull out some of these. Okay, it's almost pure yellow. Okay, there's that. I'm painting one leaf right into the other. I like this long one because it points down to my cups. Do we have some leaves behind here? What's behind there? Oh, yeah, we do. I gotta. Okay, now you can't just leave it like that. You've got to get the green that's in the glass jar with the water in it. Water. I'm going to save that light edge. I don't bring the green right out to the edge of the glass because I see some shininess there, except I screwed up over on that side. I see an edge here. This is where this is the water line. Yeah. Now I see these yellows getting a little less bright in the glass. Maybe more raw sienna than the aureolin. Get that cerulean in there. It's like the colors are paled out in there. It's like the glass is frosted. Keep the edge of your cup. Don't let the green get into the cup. All right. Wow. Now I'm going to go back to the, oh boy, I'm going to go back to those reds. I'm going to go my second color. And this has got a little bit of a alizarin in it. The left-hand sides of these getting touched with alizarin and permanent rose. Creating a little more intensity. Going back into some of those greens. Okay, now I've got to do some dark greens. I'm take the ultramarine blue and the blue gamboge yellow. Now I'm painting negatively to leave a sense that there are these stems that are going down. See it pretty dark. See a sort of frosty color coming through a big triangle. See another one right there. Big triangle. This is almost Zen-like. We're trying to get in between. These light marks. I don't like those white. They're very shiny, but I just really don't like the white up there in the leaves. So I'm going to go back and just touch them with a little bit of yellow. And now for my third color on the tulips. Again, the basic color is the permanent rose. And then I've got some ultramarine. And this will make some of these really pop. Be judicious. Don't go too crazy with too many of these darks. Okay. Okay, I'm going to pause there. We got the window little deal, and we'll come back with the window moldings and the background around the tulips. And a few more accents, but that'll be about done. All right, I'm going to start a little bit on the windowsill and then throw in the background, and that would be about do it. I'm not going to do the windows as dark as they are here. I just think they're too dark. Okay, that's fairly light color. I'll do a medium tone here. This is the mullions outside the window, outside, probably about where the screen is. Okay. There, warm. There's a reddish yellow tone here.
Ned, what color are you doing those shadows?
Oh, that was sort of a bluish gray, blue and red. And now blue, yellow and red together. Now what am I gonna do here? Okay, I'm gonna go right down this whole thing. It gets too much of one color, like blue, I throw in a little red. If I get too much red, then I throw in some yellow. I just put in different colors. These are the mullions, and I'll go back into those. Just a minute. I want to keep that fairly pale. All right, now we've got the area around the tulips, and it's a dark color. I don't want to get it quite as dark as it is. That might make the whole painting a little bit gloomy. But in order to get that color on here and get it to flow, I'm going to put some clear water on here. Ooh, and I'm going to go around these tulips because I don't want a dark color hitting them. They're nice. And Maria sends everybody her best. She was sorry not to be able to make it today. We left for Vermont this morning. She's picking up foodstuffs at various farms to bring to a market, a CSA on, it's gonna happen on Wednesday, and then everybody's watching the weather and storms. What's that? Yeah. So I'm leaving a little white edge around that leaf and around my vase. I'm not sure I kept it, I might have lost it. Okay, so I put some color there. Now here's where we get into trouble. Here. Okay. So what colors have I been using? I've had a lot of cerulean blue. I'm getting a dark tone, but I need it to be harmonious with everything else. So cerulean, alizarin, that's too reddish. That alizarin is so strong. And maybe a little bit of the yellow, aureolin will throw in there. All right. No, let's throw a little bit of ultramarine. Okay, there we go. All right, there's the color for what it's worth. Okay, don't want to have too much water in my brush because I've got lots of water on the page. around the white highlight of that vase. Right up against that tabletop. Right up along this molding here.
And that blue is ultramarine.
I used cerulean and then I wanted to get a little bit darker, then I threw the ultramarine in there.
Okay. It's nice. Indigo.
Yeah, I probably should use this. I just threw some of that permanent rose, which is in the tulips. I threw that into the gray too. All right, keep an edge over here on the vase. I sort of I'm painting backhand here. Keep an edge on the back of that cup. So it reads as a white lip. If some of the color gets into the shadow side of your leaves, not a big deal. It only darkens them by a little bit more. Okay, let's get a little more permanent rose, cerulean. And here we go. I thought I had enough color mixed up. I could get the whole thing in one shot, but I had to go back, mix. There we go. I'm keeping these tulips. Keeping their edges white. I may decide the edges of the white edges of the tulips are just too electric, too bright. In which case I can always take them down a notch. But I can, if I kill them too early, I can't get them back. Right. Now, I'm gonna darken some of these mullions over here. I'm gonna leave one edge. Oh, I just lost it. Okay, now I'm gonna come back. Let the brush do the work. All right, purposely keeping the window itself fairly light. Bang right into the camera again. But I do want a feeling of the moldings that are light, catching a little bit of white. More tone on this edge. So I have a light, dark, medium, dark, light, medium, progression there. I don't want to draw too much attention. To this window architecture, but I do need to go back into the lip of the teapot, which clearly is one of the darkest parts of the still life. Now, I'm afraid we're hitting we've hit the noon hour Eastern Standard Time, and I'm preventing everybody from going out and doing their holiday shopping, their President's Day shopping. I'm going to add a little dark line at the edge of this, coming out from the handle at the edge of this teapot. Yeah. Like that edge. I like the white edge at the back. Good. This works out pretty well with the dark accent there. I did put in finally a little bit of shadow down here. A cerulean stripe in the back here. I don't know if I'm going to throw it at the end. And then the bottom of the vase. It has some dark tones. All right, look, is that too bright on that side? I think it is. So now I'm just noodling. You know, some of these leaves that had the white edges on them, no good. We're going to take those out. Pieces of white. I don't mind the light on the tulips. I think this side needs to be less white. We'll just take a little cerulean on that. This cup is fine. That light is pretty good. That light's too bright. That's good. All right, at some point, you gotta say we'll stop. Maybe, as I've said before, take a look at your work in a mirror after it dries, after you've had time to have lunch or do something different. And then maybe you'll see something in the piece that you didn't see before.
Take a look at it in a mirror.
Yeah, didn't you hear me last week? Yeah, look at your piece in a mirror. Suzanne Flint said, oh, it helps just to look at it on the screen, look at your own piece on the screen where you see it in miniature.
I would think you would want to look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah,
Right.
right. All right, so a breakfast still life with tulips and tea. And I hit that camera one more time. I am not wild about these bright accents up here, so I'm just gonna put a little blush of my permanent rose on there. Maybe not kill all of them.
Oh.
Your homework exercise I'm going to send you will be to mix some blacks, and I have done ultramarine and alizarin and ultramarine and burnt sienna and some greens and reds, mixing darks. I don't want to say blacks. And then, what does a black kettle look like? How do you paint it, or a wood stove? And notice a couple different ways of doing shadows that we've already done. All right, that will be your exercise for next week, mixing darks. And you're free to noodle and fuss with your tulips, or as long as you want. I'm happy to take any questions if you want to unmute yourself.
Ned, it's Amy Butler.
Yep.
I love what you did. It was really great. Would you send me a picture again of the finished, so I can?
Yes. Yeah. You can see right now, Amy. It's really buckling. It's really warping. So it's going to take middle of the afternoon before I.
Oh, no rush. No rush.
Get it out to you. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no rush or?
Well, it's kind of warpage.
Well, whenever you can, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I really enjoyed the class. It's beautiful, just beautiful.
Good. Well, thank you very much. I thought, each one, I don't know. Each time I come into the class, I go, oh, this is really hard. I don't know how we're going to do this. But
well, you did it. It is a little more difficult, I think, but I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. And Suzanne Flint sent me a painting she did this week of flowers on her own, like her own flowers in a vase. And that's just what I'm hoping some of you will do. That, look at what you have on your kitchen table, some of your own crockery, your own ceramic ware, put a couple of knives and forks and a cinnamon roll or something. And actually, I think it's fun to put them on a white dish towel and have some fun.
Thank you.
So, yeah. All right. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you
so much, Ned.
Okay.
You're very welcome.
Ned, I have a question. It's so basic. I've got my color chart here. The green that you get in the vase is cerulean blue and raw sienna.
I did cerulean and alizarin, and then when I wanted to get it a little bit darker, I put in the I did cerulean and aureolin.
Aureolin, yeah.
Oh.
And then when I wanted to get it darker, I used the raw sienna.
Got it. Okay. Cerulean and aureolin. Okay, that makes.
But you could use cobalt blue or manganese blue or ultramarine. The ultramarine is pretty strong, so you got to make sure you don't get it too dark.
Okay. Cerulean and Aurelian. Okay. That explains a lot.
You've been down to Jay's Art Emporium recently?
Yeah, I got some more. I bought I did buy a permanent white,
Oh, okay, good.
which helps me for lots of reasons. Oh, there are a lot of moving parts to this painting.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on a different day, perhaps I could have started with tulips, let them dry, done the background, and then done all the little ditzy things in the foreground afterwards. This one kind of, to me, it was sort of two halves. You had everything on the table, then you had the tulips and background. You could have done it either way, I think.
But let me ask you, do you think Bill can get a edited thing when, by tomorrow or something?
When do you get your edited? Usually I send it out to you guys on Wednesday, but I'm not sure.
I usually try to get it done.
Yeah, as soon as he gets it done, he gets
What's
it
his
done.
hurry?
Yeah, well, see, they like to go back and work on their paintings, and then we have critique on Wednesday night.
I know, I tried, and that's why I wanted to get it out as quickly as possible.
Okay, so shall I close?
I'll speed it up.
All right.
Maybe
Okay.
I'm speaking for myself, but this is really the only time I've watched you more than I've painted. So I'm I'm sort
Okay.
of behind.
Okay, well,
Me too. I wasn't able to keep up at all. I haven't done the tulips, half the teapot.
okay.
Yeah, this is the slowest, this is the least I've ever been able to I'm just completely unable to catch up.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
I
that's-
never catch
That's me
up.
too. Roberta.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's very good, but
It was challenging.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm
Anytime
having
you do-
fun.
Good. Yeah, anytime you do reflective things like chrome and that kind of stuff, it's like even spoons and forks and knives are, I think, nasty to do in watercolor.
are we going to paint the 58 Buick chrome? Are we doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, will you do a color chart?
All right. We'll try. Send me your paintings. We'll do a critique on Wednesday at 5 o'clock, and
Okay.
I'll send out an invitation, all that kind of stuff. But anyway,
Great.
I don't think I can come this Wednesday at 5. I have to go get a COVID shot in Coney Island.
okay. And I'm getting my COVID this afternoon. So
No, where are you getting it?
up in Valatia, New York, up near
Yeah.
Albany.
No,
Wow.
well, I have to go all the way to Coney Island next Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I'd want to go to Coney Island either, but we'll see.
I had to walk 2 blocks.
Yeah. Where do you live? Next to the City Field and where the Mets play?
No, I'm in New Jersey,
Okay.
Roberta.
Yeah.
I'm in New Jersey, and there's a senior center where they're giving it all out, and it's 2 blocks from me.
That's great. Perfect.
Where-
All right. I'm gonna close things down now. Thank you.
Thank you,
all
Ned.
very much. Yep. Okay, Suzanne. See you
Thank
later.
you.